Hi, you guys. Thanks for coming out tonight. I really appreciate it. My name is Aaron Curry. I live at 6888 Chase Lake Court in Cohocton Township. I'm a mile and a half due north of the proposed site. My oldest son here is Jacob. He's working the camera tonight to record everything. My youngest son, Caleb, and my daughter, Ariana. There's 4 generations of Currys in Livingston County right here, right now. And I walked this stage in 1990. He graduated from Howell High School. We'll ask Deb in a little bit when she walked the stage.
I mean, when my kids and grandkids?
Yeah, there you go. So the point to the town hall isn't to really for us to sit up here and make any explanation. We're not trying to sell for or against. The point to the town hall is to have you come up and speak. We have these pads. We want to document concerns, and we want to make sure that they're shared, whether through social media or right back to the township. We don't want to let an opportunity go by where somebody's voice doesn't get heard because this is our community. We're unfamiliar, at least I'm completely unfamiliar with the data center. Nothing like that's been developed around here. And so I have my own concerns. I understand lots of social media is like, oh, you're all for it. Well, trust me, I'm scared of it just like you guys are, which is why it's so important that we get your information, we document it, and then we take it back to the powers that get to make the decisions. I'm going to hand off to Deb, and she had asked if maybe you could come a little closer so everybody can get to the microphone. If you feel comfortable doing that, please step up.
Good evening. And no, I was before this building, much less this stage. I have had children walk this stage and grandchildren, but I have not walked this stage. The high school is still at the other bedroom. The high school was the other building when I went here. So anyway, this is a conversation, it's not us lecturing you, it's us asking you for questions. So right here is the podium where when we ask for input, we're gonna need. So I guess for me, the best thing that would happen is if everybody came up closer, so this was more of a conversation and less of a distance thing. So anyway, thank you for doing that. Now, we're going to ask one at a time for input. It's going to be concerns, it's going to be ideas, it's going to be all kinds of things, but we're starting with concerns. Notice I have the big paper. We'll use the small paper for the other stuff, but the big paper is we're going to go over the concerns. And as I ask for concerns, here's what I'm going to do. Rather than have the entire population come to that podium and read the same 15 concerns or 5 concerns, somebody's going to give a concern. Let's say it's they're afraid their wells are going to dry up. Okay, if they say that, we're going to write that, and then I'm going to ask, who else is worried about that? You raise your hand if you also are worried about that, but then you don't have to say it again because we've already got it up there. I think that this is going to be in-depth information, and understand that this is going to be recorded, written down, put in a document, put on Facebook, sent to everybody that's even interested in this. So everybody has the same information. I don't know about you guys, but you go to this site and it's one set of information, and this site it's another, and this site there's nothing aggregated. That's all we're doing. So we're not going to tell you our thoughts, other than Aaron says he's scared of it. That's fine. It's okay to be scared about it. It's scared to be angry about it. And it's okay to be happy about it. We're not trying to dictate what that looks like to you. We're trying to ask you to tell us what it looks like to you. So, having said that, let's start with the concerns. And we don't have to use that podium if you, just a minute, we don't have to use that podium if you guys come up here. If not, you gotta come up here and talk to the podium when you want to say something. So, you want to go first?
Yeah. Okay. Aaron Curry, 6888 Chase Lake Court. One concern. My concern is groundwater. Having done some commercial construction more recently, I know that as you do that, there's a lot of hard surface that's on the ground, and there's different watersheds, which when you take that groundwater and collect it on cement, and then it goes out, does it go in streams? Does it go in rivers? How do we know that it's clean? It's groundwater. Groundwater is my concern, and that I would definitely like to have documented.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's up there. How many here have groundwater? What are their concerns? Okay, most of you. All right, good. So I'm gonna put an M there. That means most of you also agree. Who else has a concern?
Well, I'll just figure it out.
You scared my paper.
You got groundwater that's discharging, where the discharging to, is into a drainage ditch. Cause you got, on Warner Road, you got the railroad tracks, they've been having flooding problems in there. And they got that ditch, that drainage just runs through there, if you're dumping all that water in that ditch there, you're gonna wash those tracks out.
Okay.
That's a,
So flooding and washing out of the tracks with the groundwater? Okay. No, I get what you're saying. I'm just trying to ask you how to word it. So flooding.
I would say, where's your discharge going?
Okay.
How are you discharging? Are you discharging into a sewer, or are you discharging into a drainage ditch that's heading out to the river out there?
Okay, anybody else have that as a concern? Okay, we're gonna say M again for most. What else?
Could I take the microphone and go out?
There's one right there at the podium. Take that microphone.
Can I walk around?
You can, you can, or they can come up.
Start this off this way.
Come on up here, good, all right.
Alright.
Go ahead.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, name?
Name's Corey Steed. I'm Marion Township over off Norton Road.
Okay.
So, big one is the electrical consumption. And does our infrastructure have enough capacity to support the influx of electrical demand from the data
Electric
center?
consumption?
Yeah,
Okay.
electric demand from a data center.
Okay.
I know they can be in the megawatts.
Yeah, it depends, the number of megawatts depends on which Facebook page you go
Yeah.
to.
So the other big question I have for the people who are here to put the data center in is, what is the benefit to this community of Howell of having a data center?
That's a good question. Actually, that's gonna get a
We've
page
done-
to itself, just so you
I was
know.
gonna say, we've done a lot of talking about what are the concerns and how are they gonna address them, but what does a data center have to offer us?
Right, that's great.
That is a good
And
one.
if they say
Actually, that
jobs,
will be,
I've
that
been to
whole
data
topic will
centers,
be
there's a
covered.
whole 10 employees at a.
Now you know why we booked this place till 11.
And they're experts that cover many
Right, right,
areas. So,
okay.
Jobs isn't a great benefit.
Okay, who has electric consumption as their concern? Yeah, I'm gonna put all of you here. That's a big old
I
A.
will add this to that.
Okay?
Current electric bills get a distribution charge.
You know, I gotta tell you, you gotta talk in the mic because I can hear you, but nobody else can, and they should know what you're saying. Oh, there we go. Now we got a traveler.
Alright, my name is Chuck Davis, I'm from Handy Township,
Okay?
and I'm very close, I'm not, Howell Township, but I am Handy, and I'm very close to where that site's
Okay.
at. And the concerns are, we've been hearing that we're gonna get hit with, electrical charges, distribution charges that are gonna increase quite a bit. We've seen that, and talked about that. And we do have big power lines there through there, I heard that's gonna be part of the power for it, and also there's gonna be put in a substation. Is that true? The big substation on Grand River?
I don't know where, we just know what we've heard, and we've heard that in order to get this, they have to add more power, so we're just gonna have to, that's a question for them, and I think, like I said, this is more for, if you're worried about this, that's all we need to know.
Okay.
I can't answer your questions, I'm not them.
Okay.
But I can take your stuff and give it out and say, this is everybody, this is what people are wanting to know, so. You're worried about the increased election bill, you wanna know is a substation gonna be built?
Yeah, the
Okay.
substation, another concern.
Is it good? Wait a minute, no, hold on, don't trust the process here. Is the substation being built a good thing or a bad thing, or a necessary thing or an unnecessary thing to you?
Is it?
If a substation is built, see, if I just tell somebody that they're worried about a substation built, is that good that they build one, bad that they build one? Is there a benefit to it or not? Or you don't know?
I don't know, I'm saying, I'm just hearing that they're gonna be putting all kinds of power in there. And I heard the substation was one, that was through Haney Township, I heard that.
Okay, okay. How many are worried about an increase in electric bill? Yeah, that's a big A. And what about, and who's concerned about a substation being built? Okay, we'll say most.
Who's paying for the substation?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, who pays for it?
These are really, really good questions. You should come down here with the rest of us though, but yes.
But another thing is, how about light pollution? You're gonna have, that thing's gotta be lit up.
Now wait a minute, I can't write and listen to you.
My apologies.
All right, go ahead. Eager beavers here, go ahead.
You got light pollution,
Light pollution?
yeah, is it gonna be
Okay.
lit all up, you got light pollution?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have somebody else talking noise, did they hear, it's hard to hear. Noise. Will there be noise pollution?
That is a big concern, I used to work on cooling towers and stuff like that, they got big fans, it's a big home. We can hear the factories, over towards Fowlerville, I can hear the factories going
Okay.
over there when they're.
Okay,
I don't know, like a quarter mile from them, I can hear that pretty good.
okay.
So, yeah, sound
You have
does
something
travel.
different, you have any more? Or you wanna come back and give somebody else a turn? Okay,
Turn them over.
all right, anybody, who else?
Thank you.
Thank you. There's a traveling mic down there, yeah.
You know, that's in addition to the electrical consumption.
Gee, I wish those people back there would give them that mic.
That's another guy I like to thank.
Oh.
It's-
Is that mic movable? Can you move that mic out there?
I don't know.
Is there a cordless? I like that.
The cordless
This is
one's
awesome.
from the news channel here.
So that one's not cordless?
Maybe,
Okay, go ahead.
in addition to the electrical consumption and the substation is, will the increase in electric consumption cause rolling blackouts for all of us? We know DTE has already raised the price of electricity during peak hours because their substations can't handle the usage we're already consuming. So, yeah, I think that's the
See,
thought
you got,
process
you
there.
got, you got going so fast. Who's worried about who's paying for a substation? Okay, big old M here. Who's worried about light pollution? That's an S for some. Who's worried about noise pollution? All right, we're gonna say most. And who's worried about the increase of electrical use causing blackouts? All right, we're gonna go A on that one. Okay, did you have another one? All right.
Here you go, I'll come to you, or you can walk to go, oh, we got a wireless mic here. Go for it.
Hi, I'm Dave Dilworth. Hi, Deb. Piggybacking on what he said, consumers and DTE have been closing their coal burning plants over the last decade.
Okay.
And it's not just blackouts. Where are we going to get it? They're asking for all this power. Utility companies cannot provide it. We've got all these cars, the Teslas, that are creating substations to power them up. They're going to be taking a lot of electricity. This thing is going to be taking a lot of electricity. We're reducing the amount of electricity that we produce. And windmills and solar plants just do not produce enough.
Okay, who's concerned about where the power is coming from? Okay, that's an A. These are really, really good questions. Okay, what else we got?
I'm sorry, please don't stick it on my screen. Don't stick
Oh,
those things
oh.
on my screen, please. Thank you.
Okay. Hmm. There you go. Okay.
I'm gonna come back.
Come on back up. I've missed you.
Hang on, we got one back here.
Okay. Just have a seat there and we'll get to you in a second. Go ahead.
Denny Chiesa, question in regards to investment in this. Once it exceeds $1 billion, the fine print says it falls to the customers or to the public. Is that true?
When what exceeds the $1 billion?
Investment in the data center, if it exceeds $1 billion, it then falls on the public to pick up any additional costs.
Huh, I don't remember that. Okay. Okay, so somewhere in a contract, you're saying it says, anything over, no, anything,
Any cost to us, I think is basically what he wants.
anything over $1 billion goes to, or, is attributed to us. And that is it true? That's a really good question. All right, how many worried? Okay, okay, what else we got? All right. Okay,
Take a little bit of a different angle than the environmental Alex.
okay,
Okay. The EMF, which is the electromagnetic force,
okay,
and is there any kind of shielding to that? Because they do emit EMF, and it can screw up migratory patterns, bees, and us as well, along with, we talk about 5G towers.
okay, you gotta talk to the mic.
Yep, so shielding from the EMF. Nobody's talking about that.
Is there shielding from the electro?
Well, there's not,
Okay.
there's no plan, there's no.
That's a good question,
there's no-
that's a real good question.
A
See,
lot of
that's why
people-
these conversations are important.
Well, a lot of people don't know about it, there's no long-term
Who
studies.
knows about this stuff? You do apparently, I don't.
The other secondary angle is essentially with the subsidies, when they do go bye-bye, it's here to stay. We also have to think about, what are we asking? Yes, we want to beat China, right? But AI is going to consume us if you don't put a shield on it. These data centers, they can Bitcoin mine, they can do data center on mass surveillance for state police. If you look at Palantir, which is Peter Thiel, you look at what they're doing in France and Germany with the police state and capturing all of our algorithms, all of our how we track, how we move, what we purchase, our phone conversations, every single thing will become a police state with the capturing and the ability to capture with these data centers.
Okay, so dummy that down just a little bit so I can write it in a
Peter
question.
Thiel is part of Palantir.
What now?
Palantir, you can Google it, buy their stock, right? Nobody talks about this kind of stuff.
We talked about any of this stuff, this is good stuff.
So essentially it can usher in a police state with all the capturing of our data. If you look at France, they're already up and running. You look at Germany, they're already up and running. From corners, you look at Shanghai, where they have social credit scores.
Okay.
You're talking future 1984 Orwellian, but it's already here. People just don't research it because it's too complex, it's boring. They're too busy putting their face in their phone, but every single thing is going to be tracked, traced. And essentially, when these data centers go live and currency collapse happens, which it will, our debt ceiling cannot sustain, right? We're going to have a total reset, okay?
Okay.
And with Bitcoin, that's going to get ushered in, with the gold
Okay.
standard, and our dollar is going to be devalued.
Okay.
And this is going to play a major role in that, and
So,
nobody's thinking
so
about
what
that.
am I writing to
Well,
disseminate?
I don't know. I guess
You're
just,
right, you just said
No,
something
these-
very
these are
confusing.
things that
I'd be
people-
surprised if anybody
No.
said you understood that.
So property value is an issue too, right?
Property value, okay.
So let's just keep it simplistic, but this is more or less something everybody else can Google on their own and kind of see what I'm trying to capture. But just be careful what you ask for, because eventually this will lead to a.
Okay, so you're concerned of the after effects of the AI community and the power grabbing and the data grabbing and everything else. It's more of the concept of what they are, not necessarily their physical effect on the community.
Well, yeah,
Except the power for property value.
Yeah,
Those are good things to know.
Yeah, you look at the extension of the Patriot Act.
No.
It keeps on getting extended.
I agree, I totally agree. Those are some very good, very, very good comments. They're something I've not heard yet, so that's good. I'm not ignoring you guys over there, it's just it's hard to see. So if you have something to say, come on up. Hello there.
Hello. So I'm a little late here, so I don't know if I missed anything in the beginning, but one of the biggest things that I've talked to other individuals about was the water, and the wells going dry. Because in Livingston County, there is wells that are only 50 foot deep, up to 150 foot. And if the water is being taken away, is it going to dry up, other people's wells?
No.
And not only is it for human consumption, but other farmers that are even close by, they're worried about their well going to go dry, and then what happens? Because I brought the fact, well, we can pump in city water, that could be an issue. Well, these animals don't like the chlorine in the city water, so they need well water or pump from a pond or something like that. So that was some of the concerns I've heard from other people is can we hold these as an insurance policy somehow to make sure that if people's wells do start going dry, and it needs to be dug out deeper and go down to 150, 250 foot to get to water, is there a way to hold, an insurance policy, an account or something, because that is a concern.
Kind of like put a trust fund over there in
Trust
case that
fund or
happens.
something,
Yeah.
correct.
Okay, that's not a bad idea.
Alright.
I did see the last, seemed like, did anybody look at the last offer by the data center? Has anybody seen that? It seems like they've made a comment about if anybody's got their phone and they can look through that would be good. There's some sort of statement about wells in there that you guys might want to look up. But how many here are concerned about the wells going dry? Yeah, it's gonna be an all. Okay.
All right,
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Linda, and I'm from Genoa County, and to piggyback on the environmental concerns of the data center, when we talk about light pollution, we talk about EMFs, we also need to talk about the microclimate of all of that concrete is going to cause in that area, and what are we gonna do to help alleviate that? If we've got some sort of easement or something going on, we can plant that up with native plants to our area. Those roots go down 18 feet, which will help with helping to make sure some of that runoff water and different types of concerns are taken into consideration. It can also help, we can put regulations around.
Hold those thoughts until we're gonna do a brainstorming on what will solve this. You're like gonna be my number one person I'm looking for, so don't leave. Okay, so who's here concerned about the microclimate? Okay. Okay, who else? Anybody else got anything? Aaron, you got somebody over there? Way back there. Come on up here now. Aaron, we got somebody back there. Wait, we'll get a microphone to you.
yeah, I'll come to you, ma'am.
We'll come to you. But if you want to come down. Oh boy, this guy's got a paper. There's one back in the very back too, Aaron.
I think she's talking about you.
Yeah, my name is Ray Sancho. I live on Deal Road. This thing goes through, I will be 1,600 feet from the northeast corner of this development.
Okay.
My first main concern is that, well, in 72, my family moved to Deal Road, and I still live on
Deal Road?
Deal, off Fleming between now.
Okay.
And, the main concern I have right now, if this goes through, Mar Road gets rerouted to the north edge of this development, which will cut through like where Normanden's house is, by Rex Packins. There's a small hill right there at Normanden's. Now, a lot of people don't know at the corner bunch of different watersheds there,
Okay.
mainly Red Cedar watershed to the south. And to the north, the watershed is the Shiawassee River. And on Deal Road, we're Shiawassee River, which goes to Lake Huron, of course, to the Saginaw.
Right.
And south of there is Cedar River, connects to the Grand, and Lansing goes to Lake Michigan. So, right that small hill at the northeast corner, if they drain a bunch of water off this development to the north, it's gonna flood Fleming Road. The county in their infinite wisdom has abandoned the section of the Mar drain behind my house. My property stays, I mean, it don't drain very good anymore. They abandoned it. And I've had them out before, and they'll sit there and tell me, oh, the water drains west from your house. I go, or watch it go north and east from here. And they don't blink their own
Yeah, it
eyes.
would go from there to the Shiawassee, would it not?
That's the thing, I'll give you this paper.
Okay.
I'm worried about the drainage. And if it goes through, Mar Road should be done first. They shouldn't interrupt the people, because that's a main county road, it's not a township road, that is a county road. And that should be rerouted first, and not interfere with anybody's life.
Okay.
And then,
Oh, wait a minute.
then.
Man, ran me right out of room.
Okay.
And I'm putting these here, so anybody wants to take pictures of them, so they can say later, what she put out was exactly what we said. Okay, go ahead.
Do they plan on paving Mar Road from Owasso to Fleming, and Fleming from Grand River to Mar? Do they, that would be a benefit.
Okay, wait, we go too quickly here. Pave Mar Road
The new, rerouted Mar Road from Owasso to Fleming,
from
and
Owasso to Fleming.
then pave, Fleming from Grand River to Mar.
Pave Fleming from Grand River to Mar.
Yeah.
Okay,
And,
is that something you want to happen or you don't want to happen?
yeah, I'd like it.
You'd like it paved?
My cars get ruined. Anyway, and the third thing and final,
Okay,
on the second proposal, they showed all the cooling fan banks to the outboard of the buildings. From what I researched, the fans, the switching station are the main noise contributors. Those fans should be moved into the courtyard in between the buildings. Put the buildings to the outside. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. You guys can have the paper. I'm gonna.
no, this is good stuff. I did see one, I did hear one of the presentations. They talked about those fans, that they could have them inside, they could have them outside. And that the ones that blew outside were quieter than the ones that were blowing inside, so I don't know. So, okay, let's kind of go through this here real quick so I don't lose track. Now, let's be very careful because I'm fussy anymore. I don't want to go hurling off the side. Anybody worried about Mar Road flooding? Okay, some. All right, I'm going to write that up here because I'm not going to go down and fall. Okay, who wants Mar Road to be paved? Who doesn't want Mar Road to be paved? Okay. Who wants Fleming Road to be paved? Who doesn't want Fleming Road to be paved? Okay. Okay. Who's concerned about the cooling banks being inside the courtyard so you can't hear them very well? Okay, some. Okay, you got another one, Aaron?
Yes, I do.
I have a couple questions. I may.
What's your name?
Answered this. I missed the first 2 minutes. Yeah, my name is Maggie Tonks. I live at 1405 Shire Court.
Okay.
Okay, you're Dedrick, correct?
I am, yeah.
And you live in the city of Howell.
I what? I live in the city of Howell. I grew up in Howell Township, but I live in
Okay,
the
so
city.
you're the city of Howell, not the township, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you're Aaron Curry, you're a realtor. Do you live in Cohocton? You live in Cohocton. Okay, that's all I wanted to clarify. Okay, so you own your property. Okay, I just wanted to clarify that. Okay, my question, and I need to answer that.
Talking to the mic, please.
Okay, I said, what authority do you have to hold this meeting and represent us? Who gave you the authority?
I'm not representing anybody.
Okay, but you're taking.
I'm asking questions of you, that's it.
Okay, all right, I want to know how and who you will and when you will present this to the township.
Fast as my little fingers can type it, but it's not going to just the township, it's going to everybody. It's the same document going to anybody.
Okay.
If you want it, give me an email address.
Okay, so basically, this meeting has nothing. I mean, it doesn't.
No, I disagree. I think we're getting information here that we have never
Okay,
gotten.
but most of these questions were asked back in, I guess it was last month.
Okay.
And most of these questions, people should go directly to the board, not.
Agreed. This will go to the board. This will go to
Okay,
you.
they need
This
to
will
go
go to
to the
everybody.
board.
Okay.
The most important meeting, and I'm gonna let you know, is this Thursday.
Okay.
And, well, it's not if the township hall is gonna be here, because there'll be too many people. So,
Okay.
in my, estimation, this meeting has no importance.
Okay.
To this project.
All right.
Okay, and I wanna make sure, you're a realtor, correct? Are you representing Van Gilbers? Okay, that's all I wanna know, but advising them or anything? Okay, so what is your skin of the game here?
So you missed the beginning of the meeting. My parents live here. I live here. Those are my children up front to the right, and then my grandchildren live here. So Livingston County is my community, as it is yours. And my skin in the game for this is so anybody who has a concern, I can make sure that I'm the voice to get it to the people to hear it before a decision's made.
Okay, but folks, we can be our own voice, and that's what I like to see you do, okay? This is not something I feel they should be doing tonight. And I also listened to the interview that was done at WHMI between the father, Van Gilder Rick, and the son Ryan. And it ended up with Rick or Ryan both saying they're continuing to farm. They didn't say where. So my question, why can't they continue to farm there? Thank you.
Okay. Okay, that's a question for the bank Gilders. Okay, thank you for your comments. You have a question, sir?
Just, my name is Gary DeGeorge. What are they proposing to give to Livingston County for their presence here? For improvements, for anything that we may, or and in the future, okay, in case anything bad happens?
Okay. So I'm going to summarize this as, what are they going to give Livingston County in the bank or as collateral in case something bad happens?
For their presence here.
Right.
That goes back to what's the benefit to the community.
Can't hear. So you're concerned if the data center should blow up or cause a fire or something like that, what are they gonna do to resolve anything if it bad happens? That's what you're saying.
Or if stormwater goes awry.
Okay, all right. Any kind of negative impact? Okay. Anybody else worried about that? Yes. Aubrey does. Okay. Next.
Hey, Deb.
Yes. Wait, who has?
Corey.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Hey, Corey Olchin.
Oh, hi, Corey. I can't see up here.
Well, that's okay. I just sat down and just scribbled a bunch of notes. Just things off the top of my head. So first thing, I know everybody's talked about the water, but there are currently 12 data centers being proposed on the Marshall Aquifer. And the best estimate I've been given to the usage of water from this facility, singular facility, is 2 million gallons a day on an average. Now, I don't know how the fluctuation is, what the actual is gonna be, we don't know, but 2 million seems to be a fair shake. Times that by 12, that's 24 million gallons daily. We're just having some fun with numbers. When you run that across the year, that's 8.8 billion gallons of water used out of our aquifer. We were told that studies were done on the Marshall Aquifer, or are being done by our MHOG authority. Now, they don't have the ability to do that in terms of capacity, expertise. It's going to take a statewide effort. My question is, are we going to take the time to understand that full effect on the aquifer at the state level? Because this isn't just a Howell discussion. This is much, much broader than that. So that's question one. Question two.
Hold on, Corey, I can't write as far as you. You're way ahead of me here. Hold on. So I guess I'm trying to summarize this as saying, is there going to be a study done to analyze the aquaculture usage and capacity as it pertains to the data center?
Yeah, data centers on the state level and the, what's the word? The replenishment of the aquifer itself, when you have this much capacity being taken from it, additional to
Okay.
what's up already.
Anybody else concerned about that one? Okay. Okay, next question, Corey.
So to piggyback off that, a lot of people talk about closed loop systems. The term closed loop does not mean it's not evaporative. It has to go further than that with the technology. So just so everybody knows, closed loop does not mean it doesn't use water. They fill it and then it evaporates. So they have to continually add to it. It's just an important thing for people to know. Second question.
That's not a question. Do you have a question there?
No, that's
okay.
That's
You're
just a
telling me.
point to help people understand.
All right.
Have you ever done business, Mr. Curry, with somebody you don't know who it is? Yeah. So this whole process has thrown me for a loop. I don't know how, as a township, that we can go about doing business with a Fortune 100 company and we don't even know who they are. So that's a main question for me, because when you come into and I'm speaking on my own behalf, not legally, but to me, when you come into an agreement with somebody on a community benefit agreement of any sort, unless people know behind the scenes all of the working intricacies of who's running the show that the public doesn't know about, how are we going to hold them accountable if things go awry? I mean, we're talking about an AI bubble 2 years from now popping is what the consensus is. That's the facility they're putting up there. How are we going to hold them accountable? It's just a simple question. Legally, how do we hold this company accountable if everything doesn't work the way they're promising?
Okay. How can we hold the company accountable? Are you under the impression, and this is just me clarifying, are you under the impression that this is somehow going to get approved and built and then nobody's going to know who it is until then?
Why is it a secret now?
Well, I would imagine it's because blowback, but at their board meetings, I don't know, I'm taking a guess here.
Yeah.
But I'm asking you, when do you think, Corey, that it's going to be known who the company is? At what point? Do you think that'll be known upon the approval, or upon the sale, or upon being built?
I have no idea. But
Okay,
the point is,
then that would be a question, correct? When are we gonna find out who this is? Is that a question for anybody?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, hold on, let me get that down.
Who's trying to slide this in?
Who's getting kickbacks on this?
The oligarchs. Yeah.
You know it.
Hold on. All right, Corey, are you done?
I can be.
Well, I'm not asking you to be done, I'm just seeing if you're gonna be done.
Real quick, I'd like to piggyback on that.
Okay, this Corey here wants to piggyback on your
Do you mind
Corey.
if I piggyback for just a second on that?
Go ahead.
So I think not knowing who the company is before the approval process, we don't know what their objectives and their morals and their standards are. So it's kind of tough to decide to vote on whether or not to approve this if we don't know what do they stand to gain from this, what are their morals, what is their commitment to our community. If we don't know any of that stuff, how do we know whether or not we want them here?
All right, that is totally reasonable question here.
Yeah, so just to add a little context to that question and the point I made, this isn't necessarily normal business practice for Meta, I'm sorry to say it to everybody, but I can provide evidence to people that in Albuquerque, New Mexico, they tried to zone a data center there, they were denied. They knew who they were from the gate, so this is a small community action. This is how they treat small communities. It's just how they do it. They know that they can hide behind legality and stand tech and all of that. So this is not, we're special here because we're a small community and they don't respect us. So that's something I think we need to stand up for.
Okay, has anybody got a question or a concern? Oh, come on down here, hold on. Sorry.
Is there any state oversight in any of this?
State oversight, that's a good question. Who else has got that on their mind? Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, I live on Hogback, about half a mile before this data center.
And your name is?
My name is David.
Hi, David.
I noted with interest in the earlier discussions about power generating and capacity that there were a couple things I didn't see discussed. So
Okay.
I'm going to drag them kicking and screaming out into the light.
Okay. This is your concerns, right? Because it's not, nobody here's gonna
Yes,
answer.
these are a couple of concerns I have that I don't see have been raised yet.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so even with all this supposed additional power generating and power capacity, what is the effect on electric rates going to be to residents?
Yeah, that's on the list here. Increased electric bills.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Who gets their power restored first after an outage? I saw something that it would be the data center. Personally, I think it should be the residents.
Who has that on their mind? Okay, who thinks it should be residents? Okay. That's a good question. I don't think anybody's asked that one. Oh, you ready, Aaron?
They're gonna be using a pump and dump cooling system for this.
I can't hear that, I'm sorry.
They're gonna be using a pump and dump cooling system for this.
You're concerned that they will use a pump and dump cooling system?
That is what they're planning on using, is a pump and dump cooling system. What about all the chemicals that are gonna get released into our environment? It's gonna toxify all of our farmland and animals.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so I've got here, correct me if I don't have it right. If using the pump and dump cooling system, what is the effect on farms and animals?
Any release of chemicals.
And what?
Any release of chemicals.
Okay,
They have to treat the water so that it doesn't damage the machines.
okay,
So all those chemicals are gonna get dumped into our grounds.
okay. So I'm gonna requote it. if using pump and dump cooling system, what is the effect on farms and animals regarding the chemicals used? Did I say it right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes,
Every-
get a list of those chemicals.
And, oh, good, all right. She wants to know what are the chemicals? Or list the chemicals. Okay, who had this one on their mind? Okay, we'll say most.
Can you phrase that as contaminants and not just chemicals? Because
All right, how about chemicals and contaminants?
Chemicals, please.
Chemicals and contaminants. We have a friendly amendment. Everybody okay?
Thank you.
Okay, who else got something? Come on up,
I've got
or-
something. My name is Stephanie Booth, City of Howell. One of the presenters here, Mr. Curry, a great real estate agent. Well, I'm just, yeah, it might be an uncomfortable question, but it's just a logical one in my mind. You have property for sale right now. Are you considering using your property for a data center should the Van Gilder firm fall through?
So.
I don't know, Go
No,
ahead.
I know, it's not something to go on the list, but I don't have anywhere near the acreage to support a data center. I have several properties. My home farm is 27 acres. It just wouldn't support it. Everything else is less than a half an acre.
Thank you for clarifying it. The other thing, does the GOP, does anyone, even on the Howell Township Board, they don't necessarily have to be GOP members, do they stand to privately financially benefit from making this deal with a Fortune 500 company?
I think that's illegal, but you'd have to ask him. You'd have to follow that trace, but there's nobody on the Howell plan, there's nobody on the GOP.
Okay,
committee.
I just wondered why we're wanting to get it through so quickly. What's the motivation there?
Oh, we're not trying to get anything through, we're just trying to get information.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, who else has got something? Oh, my goodness.
Hi, I'm Kim Christopherson from Howell Township. We've been talking about natural resources, and I am concerned about using up our land that we use for agriculture right now. We have many people suffer with food insecurity, and now we are talking about replacing our farmland with basically concrete. And when are people going to understand that when all the farmland is gone, you can't eat money? Thank you.
Okay, so I get that as using farmland, you have a concern with using the agriculture, using the land that's used now as agriculture, and that concreting farmland will hurt the food supply? I got that. Anybody else? Okay. Good stuff, good statement.
I have a question.
Oh, you can come up here, because nobody else can hear you, or Aaron can come
I
there.
promise you'll hear me, I'm really loud. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, okay. Just quickly, where will they be getting the materials to build the facility locally, or will they be bringing from elsewhere? For
That is a good
example,
question.
will they need to be mining locally to get whatever aggregate or whatever they need to build cement, et cetera?
All right, so I got where will supplies to build center come from? Local or I guess shipped? And then where will the mining of resources take place? Is that what you said?
More specifically, will they be mining locally? They've already had issues with local mining. So is this going
Okay.
to enhance the local mining problem?
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So
Will this exacerbate local mining issues? Anybody else think that? Okay. Okay, Aaron?
My name is Dawn, and my question is, what is their second source of power? If the power goes out, you and I could have a battery generator backup. What is their backup? Are they considering solar, wind, BESS, a battery energy storage system, what is their second source of power?
That is a good question.
I can answer some of that.
Well, we're not answering though.
No, I'm just, it's a statement. My question is environmental concern. There's a data center this size requires between 100 and 150 generators that have to last for 30 minutes. Okay, so in order to run those generators, they have to store up to 1 million gallons of diesel fuel in the ground. So the environmental concern is 1 million gallons of diesel fuel in the ground.
Okay, so wait, let me back up. Do we know for sure that they are going to have all these generators, or is there another? So do we know that's going to happen, or did we say if they use generators, they have to store?
Every AI data center has to have backup generators because they have to supply power for at least 30 minutes when the infrastructure goes down.
All right. So hold on. Nobody can hear you back there. Where will diesel fuel for generators, backup generators, be stored? Is that what you're saying?
It'll be stored in the ground.
Okay, so then what are you asking?
Well, then it's an environmental concern. You got 1 million gallons of diesel fuel.
Okay, how will that affect the environment?
More, I would say it's more, what are the protections in place? Am I getting that right, sir?
Okay.
Yep.
And what protections? Okay, that's a good question too. I'm running out of table, guys. That kind of thing. Didn't Paul did it. See why I have really big paper? Okay, who's next?
My name is Steve Hoxie, City Howell. Just a little bit different question here.
Okay.
Obviously, there will be a pretty significant property tax revenue coming in from something like this, I assume. One, how much is that? And more importantly, has there been any opportunity for local governments and Howell school districts to determine what they might do with that money?
Well, that's certainly on everybody's mind. What dollars coming in from taxes? And what will government entities / schools do with funds? Did I get that right? Okay. Who's next?
But they're gonna be getting a bunch of tax credits. So how does that offset whatever that other?
How do potential, because nothing, we don't know yet, so how do potential tax credits offset that?
No, Gretchen Whitmer gave people like those data centers tax credit incentives to build here.
I thought that was solar, I'm not sure that it included data, but we'll have to look that up.
There's one specifically for data.
Is it signed?
Yes.
Okay, so how do potential tax credits affect that?
Hey Deb.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Hey Deb, it's Dan Schlack.
Oh, hi Dan, how are you?
Good. Touching on Corey's concern about the aquifer, Marshall Aquifer is a finite resource. The amount of water he suggested is coming out of that is substantial. The aquifer fluctuates between wet periods and dry periods. Anybody with a shallower well may have to re-drill to a deeper depth because of the loss of the aquifer level. Who's going to pay for the drilling of the new levels of the wells?
Okay, that's a good question. I think we've got that one up there.
Okay.
And I did ask, anybody in here that can get to that new proposal, it should be on the, which, yeah, the data center site, right? HowellDataCenter.com, or is that the one? Someone look at that. There is a proposal that where the company addresses wells. Anybody that can look that up and tell me what it says, we'll write it down.
That's all I had.
That's a good question. I know this, that when I asked how many people had it on their mind, everybody raised their hand, so. Aaron's hunting somebody down.
Here we go.
Hi, I was just concerned that this is such a big project. Hopefully it doesn't go through. But have we had any concerns about how this could affect our first responders? And are
That's a
we
good question.
prepared for something like that? Because I know a lot of times we have to call on other communities for help, so.
That's a good question. Thank you.
Hi, I just want to thank you for putting this all together. It's a great conversation to have. And just laying out the accountability piece.
Sure.
They were talking about, is there going to be any kind of recompense for people that suffer anything like from the noise level? I've seen videos where people that have gone through this whole process and they've suffered a lot from the noise. Their health has suffered from EMFs, and their property values have gone down. So is there any kind of recompense for those people that suffer that kind of thing?
That's a good question. Who else has that instead of their mind? Okay. Aaron, you have somebody?
Yeah, one more that's Corey.
Okay, you can have as many as you want. I'm feeling generous today.
Oh, I appreciate that. Okay. Somewhere there is a community development agreement, if that's what you want to call it, being organized, negotiated. I would like to know, my question is, who is organizing and negotiating that on our behalf? That's going to cover everything from wells, who's going to pay for them, who's going to cover the infrastructure costs, who's going to cover the road upgrades, who's going to cover the decommissioning, who's going to cover the tax funding, all of the hundreds of pieces to this behind the scenes that legitimately will keep our community from going bankrupt if this thing goes south. Who on our behalf is negotiating that? And the struggle I have is it seems like it's the people that signed the NDAs, and I am not comfortable with that.
Okay. So I have, who is negotiating behind the scenes, regarding the details on behalf of the residents? Okay. Everybody have that one too? Yeah, I thought so. Okay.
Ma'am, you wanted the, language from the proposal about the wells?
Oh, yeah, you have, oh, thank you. You have it. Oh, bless you. Okay.
It's in bold.
I see it. In the bolded spot, it says, if wells on any residential properties run dry as a result of the data processing facility's water usage, the data processing facility will cover all costs associated with fixing the impacted wells. That's what they put on their thing. I'm just saying, thank you so much for that. I'm just telling you what they put.
My question to that, though.
Okay, hold on.
In perpetuity?
Well, for.
Okay, now hold on. No.
How do you prove?
Hey, no talking over people. Look at the rules over here, mister. Okay. So you have a question based on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's same thing for how long? In perpetuity? Is it gonna go with the property? The deal, so if I sell,
Those are good
somebody
questions.
else get the same protection, or if I keep, and then, who's deciding that? Who's assessing? And then what's the enforcement mechanism?
Okay, let me get those down. Those are great. Hold on. Okay, so in regards to the agreement, let me write that down. So let me just make sure I got this right, okay? In regards to the agreement, whereas the data center says they will cover all costs of anybody's well issues, how long will the center cover costs? Who decides whether or not it was the fault of the data center? And what is the enforcement mechanism? Did I get that right?
Yeah, and just, does that clause then go with the property, or is it just the current property?
Oh, that's another one.
So if I sell my property,
What do you call
is the
that?
buyer protected?
Aaron, what do you call that when it goes with the property? There's a term. No, not grandfather, but that could work, I guess. It's like, anyway, okay. Okay, so we want to know if like the warranty goes with the, if you warranty the muffler, does it stay the life of the car or does it stay with just that owner? All right, those are good questions. I'm going to put these things out there to everybody, and I suspect the company that, somebody's going to get this to the company one way or the other, and they're going to go, oh my God. Here comes the real trick. Debbie, don't go head first. Okay. All righty. Yes.
Good evening, Deb. All right, as usual, my concerns will be a little bit different than everybody else's, but, Dan Broccoli from, Howell.
Who is it?
Dan Broccoli from Howell.
Okay, hi.
So, my concern is that the public will be talked into going against their own best interests. And I'm all for protecting the environment. Everything that's been brought up here this evening is very valid and should be addressed. But it wasn't that long ago that we had a local politician that sold out his hometown and was backing somebody else to try to prevent another project that happened. I don't know how many people remember Protect Livingston and that big thing that was going on.
I don't know if you're talking away from the mic or you're talking so fast I can't understand, but
sorry.
try that again. You don't know if anybody remembers what?
Protect Livingston and Mr. Parker's, attempt to stop the Paddos shredder because that was going to be bad for us. They've turned out to be great corporate neighbors, and I've loved having them in town. So I just hope that everybody really pays attention to where they're getting their information from. And I agree with one of the statements that Mr. Van Gilder stated was, if you're looking to really keep this a rural area, this is probably the best type of projects to do. Because 2,000 houses, 4,000 houses, whatever is going to have way more impact on the area, way more cars, way more everything that people hate. This, by the time we build the berms and the trees around it, you're probably not ever going to see it.
Thank you for that.
I live less than a mile away and I completely disagree.
Okay, well, we're not doing that though. So, ma'am, you get to come up and say your opinion, but this is really about questions. We said right from the beginning, we're going to respect everybody's different opinions.
I was respectful of it. He was allowed to give his.
Okay.
Just give me mine. Was there a question?
There wasn't. Go ahead. That's why I didn't write anything down. It was did you have a question or was that just a statement?
I thought we were stating concern. My concern is that you all vote against your own best interest.
Okay. All right. I heard you say something about bad information or not sure where you're getting it. Okay.
I've never seen a project on business.
Sir, we're doing this by microwave. You can come up and talk in the mic or you can take your turn. You have somebody there. Go ahead.
So I guess mine's more so a statement. So I did sign a non-disclosure, but by a Freudian slip of somebody who did, it is Meta, Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, so everybody's wondering who this proposed Fortune 100 company is. It's Mark Zuckerberg. And if we know how Facebook worked to close down information and push your algorithm, especially during COVID, we've seen it. How much thing was suppressed or how much they want you to get fed at certain things or sales or whatever. That should be an alarm. The other portions that, you know.
I'm not sure there was a question in there.
It was a statement. The other portion is we talk about water, right? We have 3% fresh water in the world. Okay, 3%. 68% is in the Great Arctic, north and south, right? And 1% is in the Great Lakes. Okay, so we already look at Nestle robbing our state. You know, with the 11 data centers proposed here in the state, with over 1 million gallons per day of use on a low wall, we got to think long term the impacts of things and not just chasing the dollar and being lobbied.
Okay.
My name's Gary DeGeorge. I've never heard of a project like this without an environmental impact study. The majority of all these questions tonight would have been addressed by that.
I agree. You want to know if there's going to be an environmental impact study? That's about as reasonable question as you can get. Who else?
Yeah, hi,
Everybody? Okay.
My name is Jim Biddif, and
I'm sorry, you're where? Okay.
my name is Jim Biddif, and my question is.
Louder.
My question is that since we can sit here for hours on end and come up with possible problems that this can cause, I'd have two questions. One is, I'd like to know the names of every single person that's getting a financial benefit from this. And the second question is if any, what benefits are there to the citizens that surround this?
Okay. So, all right, so when you say what benefits, are you talking about the residents in the immediate vicinity of the data center, or are you talking about Howell Township and the community as a whole?
Every single resident that has the potential to be impacted in some way by this data center.
That's a good question. Okay?
Hey Deb, Corey again.
Okay.
I state this, I'm not trying to create any division.
You'll be next.
Any sort. I am genuinely curious why you and Aaron felt the need that you had to have this today. I'm not, because my question is, why do we keep having to do this to try to get to the developer?
Corey, if you can show me where anybody's done this, I'll stop right now.
No, I'm not. Okay. I'm genuinely asking. As I said, I'm not trying to create division. I've fought with, I should say fought, but tried to talk to the property owners, tried to talk to the township, tried to say, why does it feel like we're being stonewalled? Because you guys feel like you have to do this to get answers and to get communication going. Why has it got to this point?
Okay, are you asking my opinion on that?
Yes,
or are you just like
I
putting
genuinely am asking.
My opinion is that I put the words, if you look at my flyer, my words, the first words on there were civil discussion. Because I don't know about you, Corey, but now I've talked to you many times. You and I have had very civil exchanges, and I have to tell you, I admire that and I appreciate that. We've had questions, we've had discussions, we've had brainstorms. You and I have talked. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't, but that's okay. That's a civil discussion. I don't know. If you look at social media, anytime anybody posts anything that disagrees with somebody else, there's like a massive attack. And it's not just, I don't want this, or you're wrong. It's, your integrity's horrible, you don't know what you're doing, you're this, you're that, you're this, and to the point where it's not a civil discussion. So if you're asking my opinion, that's what I'm giving you, is my opinion on why this conversation is needed. Okay? It is not to say anybody's right or wrong. on what they're saying. It is to say that I don't feel like there's been any civil discussion. This is the longest civil discussion I have seen on this whole topic. Do you agree with what I'm saying?
Me or Corey?
Corey?
No, I do, and I would
Okay.
come to you in unity with that unison,
Yes.
but I just don't understand why it had to take this, and I'm sort of putting all the Facebook stuff aside.
Sure.
But just as a township, why did we not have town halls? Why are we staring down?
That is a
this
good question.
2 weeks away, and it just seems like a no-brainer that months in advance that this would have been handled in this type of format, giving people knowledge of what's going on, what's being proposed.
That is something you and I will not disagree on.
Possibly
I'm
would have-
100% in alignment with that.
Possibly would have avoided all
It would have,
the
I agree.
Facebook stuff, so.
And, what I'd love to, I didn't have this opportunity then. I wish I would have. I would have done that, and we could have had all this stuff in writing and as a package. So I don't know if this is gonna help anybody, hurt anybody, whatever it is, but it is probably the most comprehensive list of concerns that I have seen yet. And I know I've been attacked really badly just for having this, and it's been, well, you can just go and hunt through, 7,000 posts of Facebook and you can get all the concerns. No. No. So anyway.
All right, next one.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Karen from Howell Township, and building on all the water concerns, I'm just afraid our water treatment system is going to be completely overwhelmed by the freshwater needs of the data center.
Okay, that's a good question.
Did you want to see how many agree with it?
Yes, how many agree? I'm just doing sometimes you just make the obvious assumption,
Good evening, John Pesek, Howell City. Have we been asked to put together a group of leaders, educators, professionals to go down and tour any of their facilities anywhere to see firsthand what's the impact on the area, interview people in the neighborhoods around these other places. These are so new, I have no idea. So has there been any team assembled? Have we been invited to go tour anything?
The way I understand, and this is, I'm on shaky ground here because this is me giving information and I didn't want to do that. But I can tell you that originally a bus filled with some Howell Township officials, some community people, some other people, and I don't know who those people were, they took a tour. Since then, other board members have also toured. I know some of the residents have individually and independently toured different data centers. So it has happened, but it's not been done as a community. I mean, just individual people. There was one that was organized that went and looked, but that was township people and some other area leaders. Then individuals independently got in their cars and went here and there. Yep. Oh, hang on, Aaron. This poor gentleman here, I overlooked him for the last 10 people. Go ahead. Sorry, no, take your time, go ahead.
Chuck Davis again. Technology is changing so fast, we don't know what's ahead in the future. The problem is, if we let the center go through and get built, what's its life expectancy? Is it gonna
That's a
be used
good
for 20
question.
years and then abandoned? And then we're stuck with a property that's derelict? And what would be the reclamation?
That's a good question. So I'll tell you, this is just something funny. This is not serious. Nobody quote me tomorrow saying that's what I said. But somebody asked me that same question on Facebook, and said, it's supposed to be 10 years from now, you're supposed to be able to fit a data center in a shoebox. And I said, good, there's no need to expand that. So we could fit 10,000 data centers in the Howell one. But anyway, that's just a joke. But you're right, what's the expectancy and what happens?
What happens probably ever. And also, if you open the door now, what's gonna happen in the future? Are we opening the door to all kinds of data center expansion in this county? Are we gonna lose our county identity? And right now, I see the agricultural residential. But, you know, hey, this could be the door opening
Sure.
to.
Sure. Anybody else worried about that? Okay. Okay, sorry, Stephanie, go ahead.
No worries at all. I'll go to one point. He said, like agricultural, we fought so hard against solar farms, and many were open-minded to it, but they really got shut down at some of the planning commission meetings vocally. And I like that you said, let's bring a civil discussion here, because in my mind, the energy from solar would benefit way more residents than energy taken from us by but that's me. The other thing is, we're talking about Meta and Facebook and such, and you just brought up the fact that, communication is so lost in there, people get uncivil, they get mean when you have a differing opinion. You're supporting, it sounds to me like people at the very top here in this county are supporting the very format in which that takes place, which is Meta. So I'm wondering where our morals lie in all this, and also, I know a lot about AI, and its ultimate goal is to destroy us if you've really looked that far down the road. So, you really got to look at a lot of pictures here, and if civil discourse is something you want, you're actually asking for people to just blindly follow this thing and trust that everything's going to work out. So that's my.
I don't think the point of today is asking anybody to blindly follow everything. I got 5 pages of.
Well, anyway, we'll keep it civil. Thanks.
6 pages were the concerns. Anyway, okay. Well, he's coming.
I'm coming, dude. You have one too?
Yeah, please use the microphone, or come up here if you want to shout at me. Come on up here so I can at least hear you.
Have there been any studies completed by the Livingston County Drain Commission on the impact that this data center could have?
I'm surprised he's not here. Anybody else concerned about that? Okay. Yes.
Mark Kalis, Howell Township. We entered the meeting late. It might have been discussed already, but I just wanted to bring up one or two things. I think the main thing that everybody was so upset about is, I guess it's, what do they call it nowadays, lack of transparency? How this whole thing was just showed up overnight.
Right. Yeah, that was discussed, yeah.
I don't know if it was discussed already or not, but what was the story if somebody didn't happen to look on a Facebook page or something a few days before? This would have just been chewed in and underneath everybody's nose. So I don't know, that's probably been discussed already tonight.
It has. We're not really discussing it so much as we're just taking the information.
Okay.
We will brainstorm some of these problems as soon as we get through all the. I'm sorry,
And then my
I
second.
do exactly what I told you I wasn't going to do. And that is, we are going to be kind of brainstorming some solutions, but soon we have to get through all the concerns first, so.
My second question is, watching the news and whatnot, it seems like Saline had the same situation happen to them, and it seems like they're ahead, they're like at second base, and hopefully we're not yet at first. But it just seems like DTE's all aboard because they want to make millions of dollars feeding that plant, and it seems like it's going ahead in Saline. Am I right or wrong?
The way I understand it, and this, like, again, I'm being very careful here, because I'm not trying to give information, the way I understand it, Celine agreed to a settlement where they're going to proceed, or at least that they've okayed the rezoning or whatnot, and then they have to do the studies and all these things, all these studies and stuff that you guys are concerned about, they have to be done, I think, in Celine yet, so. That's just what I understand, so I can't really answer it.
Do you know who the data center owners are in Saline?
No.
Are they like as...
Okay, well, that's, Celine, I have enough on my hands with Howell Township. Celine is not a concern, unless you want to relate it to here. I don't know.
I'm just comparing just to see, you know, how far along they got. It just seems like they got ramrodded too.
I don't know. I couldn't, we're not, yeah. So is there, like, are you asking, I guess what you're, like, what are you asking as far as?
I know I have to put this in the form of a question, just, I don't know how to word it.
Is Howell going to be ramrodded like Celine? Is that what you want to know? Okay.
That's good enough for me.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else thinking about that one? Okay. Okay, we're not, like I said, this is not an information give out, so if you have a question, that's fine, but we're not like answering anybody's questions, that's not why we're here. We're trying to get questions, not answer them.
Well, I was gonna give you some information that you had asked about.
What is
Never
okay,
Here's
go
a
ahead.
list of questions that, I'm less than a mile from the impact zone.
Okay, and?
I thought out some questions. I met with Van Gilders and.
Okay, take the mic, because I can't hear you, ma'am, take the mic and talk into it, so I can take it, grab
I
it.
met with Van Gilders and got some information, and I was gonna share that with you. It answers, questions regarding, they've offered a voluntary conditional
Okay,
rezoning.
can you hold on to that,
Some
because we're
stuff.
gonna get into the brainstorming of answers and questions in a solution soon. It sounds like that's where that belongs. I don't want you to leave, I wanna hear that stuff, but we gotta get through all these concerns, otherwise we're gonna be here forever. Who else has got a concern or a question that they want answered for this? Yes, Corey. Corey, come down here. Just come down here and talk to the mic. Aaron's busy. It's not me, everybody has to hear you.
Okay. It's a very simple question, but.
Yeah, we've had a lot of those today.
No, seriously, like, the gentleman just talked about Celine getting sued, or was sued by the developer.
Okay.
My question is.
Hold on.
To the
Come on,
township
come on.
board, to the township board,
Okay.
will they stand behind the residents and fight against the developer if the developer chooses to sue? That's all, that's my only question.
Will the township stand by residents if sued?
Celine negotiated in about 2 weeks,
Yeah.
so.
Okay. Anybody else, questions? Are we done with questions? All right, now. Oh, you have a question? Okay, come on up. Somebody manning that camera, mister? Okay.
So some data centers claim to be net zero with electricity, meaning they'll create other ways to put electricity back into the grid.
Okay.
And around the country, some have used micro-scale nuclear power generators.
Okay.
Will that be used
Okay.
in this development, and what is that, and how does that affect us?
Micronuclear?
Yeah.
Power generators?
Yep.
To remain net zero. Is that your question? Okay. Awesome.
One last question.
All right.
I've lived out here 68 years. A long time. And, yeah, 39.
That's even longer than me. Wow.
Yeah, I like Schlupp. But, we let school board, judges, why was this never put something of this important in Livingston County that I've seen in my entire life to a referendum or a vote for the whole county.
Okay. Awesome. All right. That seems to be, now we get into the brain power of the people, and I sure wish a bunch of you guys would move up here closer. Aaron's getting his steps in.
Yeah, again.
All right.
Deb, I have another question before you put that down. I'm coming to the mic.
Thank you.
So I might be out of the loop on some of this, but is there a timeline of the decision making? So where are we actually in the decision making? Who is making the decisions? And then are there stages or phases to the decision making? And at what point?
Hold on. Okay, look, I can go 3, but 4 is right now, so just hold on.
Okay. Basically, is
Hold on.
there a decision making timeline?
No, that's not what you gave me. You gave me 4 sentences, so we're gonna get them. Is there a timeline? Where are we in the timeline? Who is making the decision? And the last one was what?
And this is decisions for this project to even happen, okay? So.
Right.
So, is there a timeline for this to be determined? Okay?
Where are we? Who is making the
Are we
decision?
in that timeline? Who's making the decisions? And then will there be phases to the decision making where maybe then you can bring something to the community as a vote or something?
Okay.
I don't know exactly what I don't know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're
because
saying.
I don't
That's
know what I
good.
don't know.
No,
So,
yeah, no,
thanks.
everything you said makes perfect sense.
Thank you.
Okay, so now comes this is where we come to the ideas, and I think you should come right back here. Get your butt back. Come on. You gave some really good solutions to I believe the micro environment.
That's Linda.
Oh, that's you. Okay. I got lights in my eyes. I just know it came from that way. So come on back. Okay, there's concerns on the environment, the microenvironment. We've had some concerns, so what I want to know now is what can be done by those who know about this to alleviate that. You had some ideas. What are they?
So when we talk about the buffer areas, we need to make sure that whatever plant material they are going to be putting in those buffer areas are beneficial to the ecosystem, and they should be mandated to use native fish-use plants.
Hold on. Buffer area plants must be beneficial to ecosystem and native to Michigan.
Some of the native plants have roots that go down 18 feet. So when you talk about trying to clean water and help runoff and so forth, that is the best possible use.
These are good ideas.
I think that's all I said before.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's a good one. Anybody have any other ideas or brainstorm ideas to help environmental issues? Because we're just going to send it all right with the ideas. Okay, so then another one was, Corey, you got something? You got an idea? You're heading down this way. Oh, good, okay. All right, so we have, I don't know that we can brainstorm electrical, right? So, I think did anybody say anything about how ugly these buildings are?
We can brainstorm electrical.
All right, Corey wants to brainstorm electrical. Okay, go ahead.
All right.
What are ways we can mitigate the electrical concerns that we have written down?
So the electrical concerns, we've been hearing from DTE, who are the salesmen in this, that we won't be paying extra.
You won't be what?
We won't be paying extra, there will be no associated costs, yada, yada, yada.
Hold on. DTE says no increase.
We need to be able to speak with representatives from MPSC, who govern the rates, Michigan Public Service Commission, and MISO, I don't remember what that stands for, but they essentially set the auction rate for electricity. Those are the people we need to speak to, not DTE, who is profiting off this. So that would be the solution to the electrical.
That's a really good idea. You're right. I mean, DTE is telling everybody that it's illegal to, increase and et cetera, but the Public Service Commission is the one you want to speak to. That's a good idea. What else? Any other ideas regarding electrical usage? Like I said, that one's a tough one because that's got to come from somebody else. All right, what about noise? We've heard some complaints about noise pollution. So these are brainstorming ways to mitigate the noise. We've asked the questions. Now, what are ways we can mitigate noise? Who's got an idea?
Those same plants.
The same plants?
Get trees going on, instead of building those weird walls, you try to build that foundation.
Okay, plants and trees, yes, they will mitigate noise. What else mitigates noise? Yes? Yeah, okay, I'll have to add that to the concerns. This is brainstorm to solve the problems. Do we have anybody else have an idea on how to mitigate the noise? Any noise that might come from them? If only people weren't like across the auditorium, if only if Aaron wasn't sitting there talking and he gets them their mics.
I'm coming up with a solution here.
But we gotta do this here.
Yeah, we were talking about groundwater and the treatment of water.
Okay, stop. We're on noise.
All right.
So,
back.
do try to keep up.
Where's the noise?
Way back there. What do you mean, where's the noise? Way back there. There isn't noise. I can't hear. I really wish you guys would move up here so I can hear you. All right, who has a solution? Somebody was yelling out a solution to the noise.
Somebody put the fans in between the buildings versus outside the building.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, fans pointed inward.
So there has to be an enforcement mechanism, and I know I keep saying this online and otherwise, but for protections, in the event that a neighbor comes up and is like, hey, I've got a decibel meter, this is at 70 decibels, it's driving me insane, in the approval process said no higher than 55 decibels, what's the enforcement?
Yep, we have that.
Okay.
This is not we're beyond the concerns. We've got that one. This is what can the company do? What can we do? What can the township do? What can mitigate? Someone said trees. That's a good one.
Okay.
I'll tell you, I saw when I looked at them, berms. Big berms, great big berms that are planted with trees and wildflowers and all sorts of stuff. Berms block noise. Who else does? Anybody else have an idea for mitigating noise? Yes. Jake.
Require high R value of insulation or even like closed cell foam on all the areas of the inside of the buildings.
High value of insulation. That's a good idea.
Build it underground.
Oh. Like Area 51, be Area 52? No, let's see, wait, no, Area 59. All right, what else? Do we have any other ideas how to mitigate noise? So you want expert recommendations. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Corey, you wanna talk about noise or something else?
Yeah, noise.
Go ahead.
So, the easiest way that we have found in our research to mitigate the noise is to use a submersive cooling system for the actual servers. Now that is new technology that is not widely used across data centers, and it was
If only we were dealing with a technology company.
no kidding. But anyway, that's the short term, the submersive cooling technology.
That's a good idea.
It doesn't.
I have never heard of it.
It doesn't use nearly the amount of water.
Okay. We can add that to, ooh, we're double dipping now. We're getting that water and noise. All right. Anybody else have anything about noise? I have to say, I've tried not to opine during this, but I'm going to tell you, the idea of using native plants, I just like that idea anyway. Whether it's this or anything else, I like native plants. I like wildflowers. I like pollinators.
Aaron, you really should be doing this because I'm here.
I'm going to fall over on my face. I just know it. All right. What's another issue that we can start brainstorming?
What about the light pollution?
Oh, the light. Yeah. Someone said something about light. What are ways to mitigate light issues?
Make it go dark at a specific time. Pay attention to migration of insects and birds and bees and go dark.
So she says make it dark at specific times and to pay attention to migration of birds and insects and go dark then. To support that. Good idea. Any other light issues? I'm gonna throw out the idea, maybe we just point them inward and down. And again, that's where a berm can come into play.
Maximum amount of lumens.
What now?
Maximum amount of lumens.
Maximum amount of lumen?
Yeah, like set a maximum amount that they're allowed to have.
So you're limiting how bright the light can be.
Okay? Okay, what's a new issue?
You can make the light colors yellows or reds.
Okay, we have not touched water, have we?
No.
I don't know that, I mean, water is gonna be or Dan, did you have something?
Yeah, I believe the company should maintain an adequate escrow for any damages to any property and administered by people, an impartial panel to make sure it is spent wisely and justly.
Who should oversee that? In your opinion? Other than you. Who should oversee that in your opinion? You said you want somebody to administrate. Anybody have ideas?
An elected board or some kind of the government. I have no idea. Corey can run it.
Corey, you're gonna oversee the escrow money.
Somebody in the county.
Yeah, probably, that would, I mean, probably the county could do that.
Don't we have a comptroller? I don't know.
Yeah, we have a treasurer and we have a finance director in the county.
Yeah, they probably have a whole committee.
They have a whole bunch of people there. Okay. All right, that's a good one. Any other okay. Anybody else have an idea about water? I think did we talk about water already?
Not really. I was talking to him.
Okay.
He just took a station identification break.
Okay.
What
we can talk about when we come back.
So what we were talking about is because he had worked for Heartland Schools, anything that came in would go out, it had to be treated, but it would return to the supply source. And he said generally those permits, his solution was those permits are required to be reviewed by the department, DEQ. So, I mean, that was the solution, was a state level review.
State level review? Okay.
Whether it's.
All right, I'm gonna talk about, because I think this has been asked to talk about, so we're gonna switch topics here. And if we wanna come back to any other topic, we can. What potentially could happen if this gets approved? I know I've had at least 3 people ask, what are the benefits or what could be the benefits? So, let's just suppose it gets through, however it gets through, whether we get sued or whether they vote it or whether it's referendum or whatever it is, it comes into town. It's on its way. What could the possible benefits, or what could we ask for as benefits?
They've already proposed a park and an equestrian trail.
Okay, so you're right, they have proposed.
There's proposed benefits to the
Hold on.
schools.
Okay, so they have already proposed in their drawing, yes, a park and an equestrian trail, and I believe they have set off, Aaron, help me here, was there or was there not like 100 acres that they were gonna give either to the township or to the nonprofit or something?
120 acres set aside for equestrian trails.
Right, but then there's something else, there's another.
There's another piece, I don't know the size of the acreage, but that would go to the township, and it
Okay.
could be served as emergency
Some other parks,
services or
okay.
whatever they determine.
Okay, so we got a park and an equestrian trail, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I wanted to back up to water. Can I back up to water? I just wanted to read something.
Go ahead.
From Michigan State. I'm new to the area, and so you guys were talking about the Marshall Sandstone Aquifer. And so when we talk about that thing is massive. And it is, it's an important source of fresh water. And fresh water is a kind of groundwater that is naturally relatively pure. Because of its quality, many communities such as Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, Howell, Bad Axe, Summit Township, Marshall, Midville, Albion, Hastings, Sandusky, Caledonia Township, Springfield, Fossonville, Spring Arbor Township, Leland, Leoni Township, Millington, Wayland, Elkton, Holly, Marlette, draw from the Marshall Sandstone Aquifer. So if you're looking for ways to make sure that we keep our water clean, we need to reach out and make sure that all these people know what's happening.
Okay. Okay. All right, back to the potential benefits. We get this thing, or we end up with this thing one way or another, it doesn't matter how, but if they do, what potential benefits can we get out of this?
Could I be selfish for a minute? With that little parcel off of Owasso Road in the Northwest Elementary baseball fields being eliminated, man, I would love to have a recreation center, whether it's soccer, Little League baseball, football, all those things. I've coached basketball, and I would just like to see that available, regardless of its location.
So you want them to donate a children's sports field, which I think they've done.
Absolutely.
They've done that in several
Yeah.
different communities.
Yep, we could use it. We
Okay.
lack it, and I just think we could use it.
Okay. What else could the community end up with because this ends up going through?
Well, they give a lot of estimates about tax dollars for schools, but I'm confused if they're getting all those abatements.
Now, the school's tax fund, I can explain that. This is just an explanation. The money that goes to the state, and the state just deducts. So if let's say the data center pays, let's say our budget here in Howell Schools is, I'm gonna make it real easy, 60 million, let's say. And they end up spending 60 million in taxes that would normally go to schools. That'll still come here, but then the state will deduct the 60 million and they won't send it. So it's gonna be a wash. The only time that changes, I guess, is when they end up paying more than they would get, but the data centers do gifts and grants to schools. So if they were gonna do that here, what would we want? For example, in one community, they built a STEM center for high school kids. Actually, it was for all kids. So, these are the kind of things, these are the wish lists. This is what I'm asking you, what could possibly...
Department of Labor registered apprenticeships for these supposed skilled trades. So DOL, so Department of Labor, so it's a fully supported by other federal funding. I think their workforce should have to come from a certain percentage from here. It's gonna be like 50 jobs, but they're gonna bring in a community liaison, hired person from outside to come in and make us love them. I know.
Okay,
I
so...
laugh as well, but that
No,
is,
they
that
do
is
that.
the plan. But if you wanna be a good community partner and you're, if anyone's believing this, that they wanna be a fabric of the community, then they should hire a liaison from within the community.
Okay.
So a certain amount of whatever jobs there are, 50%. Ask for higher than what you expect. Those berms are supposed to be 8,000 or 8 feet high, and they do say topped with 10-foot mature trees, but I agree it should be native trees. But you gotta be specific about the native part, because they won't do it.
Okay, no, that's a good point. And bringing in local labor where they can, especially if it's a high percentage, is a good idea. And yes, you're right, bringing somebody that doesn't know this community, good luck.
Well, in the temporary jobs to build the thing, those are 5-year
Sure.
construction type jobs, but they should use, what percentage are gonna use contractors from
Right.
the county?
That's a good idea.
And are they gonna pay prevailing wage, because this is not a union town, no matter what Lee wants to say over there at operating engineers. None of these big projects in Livingston County have ever gone union. So,
Okay.
I think we need to make them pay prevailing wage. And I think for a certain number of neighbors, that 30,000 that you say you'll pay to hook me up to MHOG when my well goes dry should be in escrow.
That's good, okay, hold on.
I know I got a lot of wants.
Yeah, that's okay, and I'll tell you what, I'm gonna give you the mic in a minute, but Corey's been standing here, so let's get Corey done.
No, you're good. She touched on something that's pretty important. It's a concern about the housing. I don't know if anybody brought that up for the housing that, concerns that are gonna come.
No, we're not on the concerns.
I know,
You
but
expired your concerns, I'm sorry, sir.
Don't expire it, come on.
Ah,
Just
not yet,
just
look at the
straight
papers.
housing, because,
Housing.
the workers, 1,000 workers, 500, however many it's gonna be, they're coming from out of state, are gonna have somewhere to live. Where is that gonna be? The end.
Right.
If they come from the community, they won't have to be housed, because they're.
And then there's that, see, now we're talking, you see how we're doing this, we're solving
We're
stuff.
partners in this, I'll help you solve that. Workforce development.
No, we can't. We can only support 1 to 2% of what they need. I know that for a fact. We've already.
Oh, no, we're not arguing, none of that.
Yeah,
Housing issues are less every time they hire local. We'll just say that. Okay, Corey, go ahead.
What I would like to see, on a very high level, is supporting not just stem cell, but every single program in Howell and Fowlerville schools. Every kid, regardless of if you're a stem cell student, should be supported by this. And they're getting enough tax breaks, I do believe that they should be paying $6 million annually to each school district, just as a separate fund.
So that's in addition to supporting every single program.
Yes.
6 million each school. All right. Well, I asked what your ideas were. That's an idea, sounds good to me. Anybody else? What potential benefits could we get? Okay.
With a big part of like keeping it rural or living rural, what I've seen is like a decrease in 4-H and maybe like the local fairgrounds run down. So maybe like some support with 4-H or programs like that. And
4-H and Future Farmers of America, that sort of thing?
Yep.
That's a good idea, especially this being what it is. Maybe we should just allow them to let the Van Gilders continue to farm around. Nobody will know.
Remember that contaminated water?
What?
Remember the contaminated water when you're asking for farming to.
Oh, that was a joke. It's bad I have to explain, that was a joke. Who's got any other ideas? What are you looking for from this thing? Okay, good.
If this does happen, I'd like to see them subsidize electrical and internet services for the community.
Well, DTE is the partner here, right? And so they're planning on, and they already have asked for a tax increase to support the Saline one, so I'm sure ours is coming, but they don't wanna have public hearings. So there was an announcement on the Attorney General's website today.
Okay, whereas that's not the question, we're calling the question here.
I'm sharing information.
I know that, but we're following a format, and I love your information when it follows a format, we'll get to that information.
You said that 20 minutes ago.
And I asked you, you gave me some great stuff, I've got it written down.
How about an endowment of some sort that would provide grants to students for environmental?
Yeah, and the subsidies I would be looking for would be not through taxes.
No, I get that. Okay, so hold on. So you're talking about
Some sort of endowment for grants for students, high school students, to, for scholarships, I should say, for environmental education.
Good.
Degrees. So,
I know that I looked on, I think it was the Altoona Facebook page, and they listed every single grant awardee that they give. They give all kinds of grants every year, so you might wanna, if you're interested in that, you might wanna look through that and see what they did.
so who's doing that?
In Altoona, Iowa, they have a data center there, a big one, and it has, I think you just look up Facebook, Altoona, Iowa Data Center, and you'll see.
You're asking what we would be asking for this community, and
I'm saying they give a list of every grant that they've given for just that community, so you could get an idea of what they give. All these data centers give tons and tons of grants. So I don't know what they give them for, but you'll get I'm just saying, get your ideas from there.
I thought you were asking us for ideas.
No, I am, and I got yours, but I was telling you could look there and see if they've done anything like that, that's all. No, I got your idea, it was a great one. Who else? Yeah, I'm telling you, I think they do that, because I think that's what I saw there, so, but check it out, just to make sure.
Who's they? We don't know who they is.
That particular data center, if you look up Altoona, Iowa Data Center, it'll tell you everything you need to know. But they have a list of all the grants. Anybody else have any benefits from the community or things you'd want to see?
Want a happy hour and pancake breakfast?
I want my bunny slippers. All right. Okay, now we're at the stage where we just say other. Anybody else, anything else they want to add, ask for, think of? What could possibly go right? What could possibly, we got 17 pages here of what could go wrong, or what you want to make sure doesn't go wrong. We've got a couple of ideas on how to, anybody else see anything on these pages that they have an idea or a way to mitigate it? Anything else anybody wants to add? Okay, well, I thank everybody for coming. Oh, we got one last, that's okay.
I'm not sure if it was mentioned, but you brought it up, like the look of the buildings or like the the style of how
Oh, they're
they're
ugly.
built.
They're ugly buildings.
Would it be possible to mandate, like, maybe we have local people?
Stone, like field stone or?
Yeah.
Like log cabinish?
Yep.
Mossy oak.
I've seen places that kind of paint it like camouflage or do like local art from maybe the school students where they come out and paint the side of the building and showcase that kind of stuff.
Okay. You talking like a mural or just decorative?
Yeah, like
Either,
murals.
okay. All right, we wrapped up or somebody else
Wait,
has something?
we got
Oh,
one
there we go,
more.
okay, nope.
This is just general information that I
Okay.
guess I'd like to know. Why the allure of these data centers toward rural areas? Is it money? Is it cheap land? Is it cheap power? Is it cheap water? What's the allure with putting it in a 1,000-acre cornfield versus, let's say, a brownfield like Oldsmobile or Buick in Flint?
The only information I have is what I've read, and what I've heard, and what I've been told. And from what I understand, there's certain elements that need to be available. DTE must be willing to put in enough power to subsidize both the data center and the surrounding area. There must be a water supply that can handle the massive amounts. And there must be enough land that they can put it in the middle and have a bunch of surrounding green space to camouflage and not be intrusive. That's what I was told. I cannot validate that as though it's my stuff, but that's what I was told. I do know that Howell has big water supply, and DTE has said they're willing to do this. Now, I don't know about DTE, I don't know what they do, I don't know about how they do it. They just said that they're willing to put in the whatever power supply is here. I went to, I don't know how many here was at the meeting at the American Legion where they had DTE there and representatives from the county or from the company. But DTE said that they would put in a massive power station nearby to handle it and any surrounding issues.
I think they're already doing that, because if you go down Grand River, because west of Owasso Road, something big's going in right along that big power.
Is that on the Munsell property?
I do not know.
Okay, I heard that too, but again, I can't give you information I don't have. That's what I was told.
Well, it's just back to the fast tracking thing, it just seems like they're going ahead, with their plans.
They're going ahead?
DTE.
Yeah. I think DTE is gonna put something there no matter what. I just don't know if it's going to be, how big it's going to be. If it's going to be X because of the community, because the west side of the county, from my experience, has trouble during storms and things more than that. That is one stinking spot in the city of Howell where I live. That we're the first ones to get hit. But they're putting that in for us, but if the data center goes in, they'll make it bigger. That's what I understand, but I don't, again, that's just what I know.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, the only information I have is just what I've heard or what I've looked into, but I'm promising you this, I'm not quoting Facebook for any of this stuff.
Another benefit I would suggest is that we ask for a list of protections against all the concerns we listed tonight. Period. Because those are the things that are weighing on most people's mind. Buy us a baseball field, buy us whatever
Right.
later, we don't
It's
care
chump
about
change to them.
that, right? So ask for that list of protections
Yeah.
and how it's gonna be paid for.
I think we've got insurance plan, escrow, trust. I think we've got some really, really good, strong ideas. And if they take it, they take it. If they don't, well then, then we know. Anybody else?
My plan with that was always, a revocable or a suspendable land use permit. Somebody comes in, and they're like, man, they're just not doing it. 3 days, you have 3 days to correct it, or we're shutting the project down. There has to be enforcement. It's a performance guarantee.
You do realize I'm gonna be typing for like months.
Oh, hang on, we got another one.
I can't even wait. How is this information gonna be relayed, and to whom is it gonna be relayed?
It's going to be typed up and put out for anybody. It'll be put on both data center pages and on Facebook. It will be sent to the township. It will be sent to the Van Gilders. It'll be sent to anybody my name is Deb Drick. Okay, this is real hard. DebDrick@gmail, just like that. DRACK. DebDrick you know those Pickdrick signs you see everywhere? Well, I'm Mrs. Pickdrick. So it's DebDrick@gmail. You can email me, and if you aren't on Facebook or you don't see it, email me and I will send you a copy, okay? Aaron, I started talking and I forgot what you said.
Performance guarantee.
That's right.
So just reading on some of what, Celine has done, in terms of, monitoring well water and using up wells, they, agreed to install monitoring wells around the property.
They agreed to install what?
Monitoring wells around the property.
Okay, so they're gonna put monitoring wells around the property.
That's very common.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, and the other suggestion, he left, but he said it, with the pump and dump, he said it has to be a closed loop system. And yes, you will, have some evaporation, but it's nowhere near the continual filling of the line.
Okay. Anybody else? Going once. Going twice. All right, we're done. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for your ideas and your patience and your and your civility. Thank you for that. This is the most comprehensive conversation. If this was on Facebook, it would be 700 posts and 650 of them would be attacks. So I'm really glad we did this. I'm glad that we got to talk. I'm glad that we got to listen to both sides. To I'm scared of this, to I'm for this, to this is how we can fix this, or whatever it is. I appreciate your forthcoming. Thank you, Aaron, for inviting me to do this.
Absolutely.
For participate. I will be. I'll be like I said. I'll be typing for months. I'll be typing. I'll try to put this together as soon as I possibly can and disseminate it. So send me an email. Say, please send me these notes when you get them, if you're not on Facebook. But if you are on Facebook, look at the data center. But I'm going to put it out to the media. I'm going to put it out to everybody. Nobody's going to get something different than I would give you, okay?
Friends and neighbors, thank you for coming out.
Safe
We appreciate
driving.
you guys. Excellent.